Welcome to Pillow Talks with Victor, where love lingers in words. Sometimes love doesn't begin with a meeting, it begins with a letter. The first one arrived on a Tuesday. No return address, just her name, Elena, written in blue ink, in handwriting that looked almost familiar, though she couldn't say why. Inside was a single page. No greeting, no signature, only one sentence. The way you look out the window at 7:15 every morning makes me believe in quiet miracles. She froze, reading it again. It was strange, intimate, and oddly specific. She did stand by her window each morning, waiting for the kettle to whistle, lost in thought. How could anyone know that? She should have been frightened, but she wasn't. Instead, she felt seen. The second letter came a week later. This one said, "You still hum that same song when it rains, the one your father used to play on the piano." Elena's chest tightened. That song. No one had heard her hum it since he passed away 10 years ago. She began looking for patterns. The mailman didn't know. The neighbors hadn't noticed. Every letter was unmarked, untouched, like it appeared out of thin air. And every word was something only she could understand. At first, she told herself it was a coincidence. Then, curiosity won. She started writing back. "Who are you?" she wrote. "And how do you know these things?" She slipped her reply into her own mailbox. Foolish, she thought. But the next morning, her letter was gone. In its place, another note. "I've always known you, Elena. You just don't remember me yet." The words lingered in her mind like a melody she couldn't place. Days turned into weeks. Each letter arrived with pieces of her past, small, intimate things she had forgotten or buried. The smell of rain on the night she moved to the city. The green sweater she wore the first time she cried in public. A poem she once wrote and never showed anyone. Whoever this stranger was, he knew her not as she was, but as she had been. One night, she dreamt of the beach she used to visit as a child. In the dream, a man was sitting beside her, sketching in the sand. She never saw his face, but he said, "It's been a long time since you came back." She woke up with tears on her pillow. The next letter said, "Dreams are only memories waiting for courage." Elena felt the walls of her apartment shrink. She had to know. She left her reply, "Tell me where to find you." No answer came for days. The silence was louder than any word. Then, on the 7th morning, a final envelope arrived. Inside was an address, the old railway cafe by the sea. Below it, a single line, "You'll remember when you see me." The train ride felt endless. Every face she passed looked like a maybe. When she reached the cafe, it was nearly sunset. Golden light spilling over wooden tables. The air smelled of salt and old stories. She waited, and then she saw him. A man in his 30s, sitting by the window with a cup of coffee and an open notebook. When he looked up, he smiled, not like a stranger, but like someone who'd been waiting for her to return from a very long journey. "Elena," he said softly, "you came." She froze. His voice, it felt like déjà vu. "Do I know you?" she whispered. He nodded. "You used to." He told her everything, slowly, carefully, as if the truth might break her. They'd met 15 years ago, at a summer camp by that same lake she used to dream about. 2 kids, inseparable, making promises too big for their age. But the accident changed everything. He'd moved away. She'd forgotten. Trauma had a way of erasing even what the heart wanted to keep. He had spent years trying to find her, not to remind her of him, but of herself. The girl who used to believe in wonder. The letters were his way of giving her back the memories she lost. Tears filled her eyes. "Why didn't you just tell me who you were?" He smiled gently. "Because you wouldn't have believed me. You needed to remember on your own." They sat there for hours. 2 lives that had once run parallel, finally crossing again. Outside, the tide rolled in softly, as if applauding the moment fate had been holding for years. Before leaving, he handed her one last envelope. "This is the final one," he said. "Read it when you're ready." When she returned home, she opened it. Inside was a single line, in that same familiar handwriting. "Thank you for remembering me." She smiled through her tears, realizing that some loves never disappear. They just wait, quietly, in letters and dreams, until you're ready to open them. And somewhere, maybe by that same sea, he was smiling too, knowing she finally did. This was the stranger who knew my name,